Hi guys, it's me, Joseph Anderson again, and for this video that I will be dedicating to the Dragon Ball Z vlogs, I shall be talking about episode number 24 of season 2 of this great show. And the name of the episode is Guido's Mind Bends. And it's obviously meant to show off the first of the E24's members, Guido, the pudgy little alien guy who has a mind freeze powers, time freeze powers, I should say. But there's one inherent weakness to the whole thing, and that being that he can only hold the time freeze. You can only freeze time for the amount of time I can hold a breath. So think about, give or take a minute or so. So that's not very impressive. And by the way, they milk the whole time thing, whereas it's only like a minute or so in that time, but in reality it's more like about 20 seconds, because it's kind of overweight and he can't hold his breath with shit. So he's kind of like an asthmatic alien. They also, I like to say that, that I like to say with all the other people that they tend to milk the whole thing about, freezes 5-minute thing whenever it comes to the destruction of planet Namek. But notice that they do that too with Goku arriving on the planet only 20 minutes. So it's kind of interesting note to make. I think that maybe Toriyama probably did check the time properly on the show, or whatever the case is. I think it might make more sense on the actual manga itself when he did that. But that's kind of weird. What's also weird is that they're fighting against Guido, which I looked it up, and it's he's the only guy that's like Captain King himself that isn't voiced by Chris Sabat. Because all the other members, Raccoon, Jason Burger, all voiced by the guy, Chris Sabat, which is known for Vegeta, King Vegeta, and Piccolo, and Guru. I don't know about the other characters, but but I'd say that Michael Townsley, the guy that I should say Bill Townsley, the guy that voices Guido, does a good job in doing so. And I should point out that he sounds a lot like King Kai. Also, the animations that are given to him kind of make him look like a pervert. Especially when he smiles and all of that. He looks like a weirdo. That being said, everybody said Krillin and Gohan are both children, which, okay, you can say that about Gohan, but no, Krillin is an adult in this time in the show. In Dragon Ball, he was a kid more or less. A little bit wiser than Goku, but still a kid nonetheless. So anyway, they have them fighting with all their might against Guido in this episode. It's had to be funny and quite adorable that they actually show Krillin using the Kamehameha wave attack, and it's light blue, of course, being iconic for that color. And then he should Gohan using I think it's the Masenko, it's how you pronounce it, the Masenko beam, with the ha. That's one of Piccolo's old techniques. I think it turns into the demon beam or something about like that. So anyway, that's pretty fun, and it's orangey ready-ish. So that goes right in contrast, goes right in sync with the whole demon Piccolo enemy thing going on there. So anyway, they fight with Guido, and that Guido is surprised by the speed and the power. Same with Vegeta, because Vegeta doesn't know anything about Guru's little hidden power up. His hidden power up unlocking thing that he does. He just assumed that these two people were straight fresh from Earth, and then they'd be the same power level as what they used to be. Which is all fun and dandy. So anyway, you see him fighting with Guido, and then you see him do the time freeze on them, to which I actually put in the song freeze frame to it. Freeze frame. And then they do that musical thing with the thing, and then they do freeze frame again. So that's kind of funny, if you know the song at least. So anyway, then he runs away from the two people attacking him, which, yeah, okay, that makes sense, because he's a little chicken shit, little pudgy boy, chicken shit, somewhat like Eric Cartman with powers. So he can talk trash because they put the E24, and because he got bigger, stronger brothers over there wanting to kick people's asses. Now, if I were to guess his power level, I'd say it'd be about maybe 35,000 sounds about right. Maybe 30,000, 35,000. Because he is somewhat powerful and kind of goofy at the same time. Because he remember the E24, which does the stupid poses and dance routine things, choreography and shit like that. But he is also the least powerful of the bunch. I would put Jason Berger at about the same level at maybe 90,000. Raccoon will be somewhere around 150, 120, 150,000, and Guinea himself would be somewhere like around, he'd be comparable to 180. Did I get that right? Did I get that pretty much right? Anyway, regardless of what Guido's power is, he is definitely the weakest power level of the bunch. And, yeah, he was recruited long time ago, long before the events of Z. So, G knew him back then, and you to consider him like Worm or something or other. So, in any case, they show off, Guido's power to free time, which is pretty amazing because they show him when he's just about to be hit by two Earth-like beams, which is something pretty special. So he pulls behind rocks and trees and things to try to avoid being hit, because apparently he's too pretty to get hit. And he literally thinks of being a coward in the woods. So anyway, he ends up freezing time again whenever the two people are trying to pummel him to death. And it's really quite funny the way he runs like a little bitch every time that he's about to be mercilessly battered in. And it's kind of unfair that he does this right when he's about to be made contact with. So like if you were to like punch him, he's like freeze time at the exact moment before you're about to suck him, and then that's it. He just has to sock as a punch. So yeah, it's pretty funny. But he ends up getting getting away from them and stuff. Then he runs away from around the boulder, and the three Guinea guys, just waiting for me to make the kill, are betting on, whether this guy can beat these two weaklings in like under a minute. And it's funny because they use a very Earth-esque treat to play the bet, because Raccoon bets a chocolate nut bar against Guido's time, to which he loses immediately. But then it's funny that Guido eventually gets berated by his teammates for taking so long with making the kill on these two weaklings. And besides the chocolate bar being an Earth-type product, it's also another pull on their naming scheme being dairy products. So chocolate goes with milk and all that other good stuff. Now that I think of it, I'm gonna make the chocolate bar right now. So anyway, loses. He's a big slow loser about it. So anyway, they're like, if you don't make the kill soon, we're gonna have to step in, and you're gonna be kicked off the Union Force. And then Jade, being an ever big asshole, says to Guido, yeah, and if you keep long enough, we're gonna kick off the bowling team. So no hanging out with Nico and Roman Bellic. So that's like the last straw, and he says, you can't keep me off the squad. Taking a sweet time and making bets was fine with Guido. The last straw was the bowling squad. That's very funny. That just shows how stupid these people are. Being kicked off on a league team like the Union squad is bad enough, but then being thrown off the bowling team because of that is even worse for him. That's the worst punishment. I can't believe that. I wonder if they put that in Toriyama's work, or if they put that in there just for the American dubs. Because I know that bowling is kind of a big thing right now in America. So I wonder if that's that. And besides the point, I wonder how Guido would actually hold the ball. Because the ball has got to be bigger than his head at this point. He's not very strong. So anyway, after this, he ends up trying to hold his breath to hold back the two will be bullies and will be destroyers of his power. And it's so funny because he's also working against the environment, because Guido is just holding his breath, and he can't do it very much. Also falls because of the earth making him feel not being able to hold his own weight. So that makes him, exhale the breath, and it makes the two guys closer to him, which is a big problem. I feel like that's like a he's got the power, but yet the power is useless. Pretty much. Kind of like a, like arm fall off lad or something or other. Like the limbs fall off. And you can use them as clubs or weapons or whatever, what have you. So in other words, it's pretty useless. All you have to do is just run away, kill a coward, when it's frozen time. But in any case, he ends up being more serious when he does his mind bending technique, by which he does he goes into like mantis style, like this. And the thing is that whenever he does this, he goes into serious mode with the veins coming out of his big fat bulbous head, and he ends up more or less concentrating all of his power into a certain field of energy, which looks very similar to other Dragon Ball Z effects. I don't know what it's called, but it's more like a psychedelic thing with like clouds in it and stuff. Anyway, he ends up freezing the boy there, and he can do whatever he wants to them. Beat them up and make like faces with them and stuff, and pull the ears out and the hair and all that stuff, like key stuff. Even when he does punch and kick them, the damage that he outputs to them is like kid stuff compared to the other guys. He's doing it as a whole to punch and kick them and do damage to them, but they pretty much laugh it off. You can recover from fairly quickly. And this is like a pet peeve that I had the most about this, because Krillin said that he can't move a muscle. But the thing is that he is moving his mouth enough to be able to use that to speak. I can't move a muscle. I find that problem with some media where they do that, where they say, I can't move it, and then moving their mouth and their eyes and stuff like that. So that's kind of a little bit of annoyance to me. I don't know if you guys have the same pet peeve. I was just watching the movie The Mask, and I was at the clip where they show Jim Carrey doing that thing where the cop says freeze, so he freezes, and then he says, okay, I'm freeze, so he can go into the position and stuff. So he does that. So I wish they would do that to this one too. So anyway, after Guido is done playing around and stuff, he ends up using his power to number one chuck small rocks at the two guys, which is a minor annoyance compared to what they used to. And then after getting berated by the other Green Force guys, they say, get a move on it, hurry up, you're starting to get tired of it, if you don't, we're gonna beat you up more, and we're gonna take over from this, and you're out of the league. So Guido decided to pick up a big tree, take off the leaves and the stems on it, and use it for a spear to kill Bulgy first. So as he's about to kill Bulgy, he ends up coming slowly and going to play with his food more or less. And it's important to note that while he's doing this thing, he can still breathe. So the other stuff before it was a waste of time. With not being able to breathe and stuff. Why not just use your ace in the hole right now? Because the two guys never learn from their mistakes, and they keep charging at him and using frontal assaults. So it could have been a perfect trap for them. Even though Vegeta warned me about it, because he knew Guido's powers. So why didn't he do that? Because the two was stupid. So anyway, they get trapped in this little web thing, this mental web trap. Well, all the beginning brethren, all they're watching and cheering them on and stuff. So then they end up, it's about to kill him first. They go on. But then, you see, for a brief moment, you see him like, ha 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 ha, and, as a light comes in and slides off the top of his neck and his head too. So you find out that Vegeta actually chopped off his head in a brief instant, and he said, no fear, we're just between me and the other guys. No, you shouldn't have meddled in and saved those two lives. So this is important, so that Vegeta actually saved his once enemies from certain death. And he said that because he didn't actually save the two guys because it was the proper thing to do, and because he owed Goku from saving his life back on Earth. But because he didn't like the little runt anyway. He didn't like Guido from his past experience with him. Even though that was in the past and stuff. He called him Dirty Little Monkey and a stupid saying all of this other junk. I find it really fascinating that the enemy is down, the enemy is defeated, obviously, but yet, he still talks shit about Vegeta in his race, call him a stupid monkey, call him dumb man, all that other stuff too. And by the way, you don't actually see, Vegeta's tail nub anymore. It's just solid pins. I don't know why, but they do that. I don't know, maybe it's the blood that changed its outfit or something. But anyway, they show that Vegeta says it doesn't matter. There is no fair in the middle of battle. Just victory and defeat. And then you go to blow up Guido's head. Which I honestly don't understand why he would do that, because if Guido is decapitated, there's no threat there. There's no threat whatsoever. I mean, eventually he will die. I would imagine, and the body will be just running around like a chicken. You can't be regenerated, huh? So I don't care why Vegeta did that, unless he was just that pissed off with the little head. Anyway, he destroys him, and then the E24 is over there, without a fourth member. The choreography's off, even though Coop says, that Captain would be pissed off because he worked hard on choreography. I would think that losing a member would be a little bit more important than Captain's choreography lessons. And he said they used the word bastards in there. I remember that in Ocean Dub, I guess they're trying to be more hardcore about it, so that's why they had Cheats or somebody else say the word bastards. The bastards that killed Guido by a sneak attack. And also, they have a part in it where they have Bulma sick and tired of being left alone and stuff, and she calls up Master Roshi. We're just eating something, maybe rice and stew or something. And he said that he doesn't have any good news for you except for the fact that Goku should be there any minute now. Any minute. I'm gonna put it in quotes because it will all come from to get anywhere. So they have to show a picture of when the ship is actually close to them. And they just show that it's pretty cool in the air, in the space of them. So it's coming close. I think in the next episode, with the episode to that, they're gonna show when Goku kicks butt. Anyway, they also show him gathering tons of beans and everything else from his little collection there. And they show the ship is one more intense thing they've been doing on the one from the gravity, which is pretty good. I like to see the ship one and like himself all kind of tired and used to everything else. It shows real method of progression for me. A fit, being an experience of warrior and all that. Then gradually getting more powerful as things go along. Oh, see, what else there? I find it interesting that instead of like a straight shot for the spacecraft to go on, they show it more curved. I don't know if that was an animation error or perhaps they were showing that space-time is curved. But that's pretty interesting. That's not like a straight shot through space. Let's see what else to do. I also want to say that when Krillin and Gohan get saved by Vegeta, it shows an impetus in him to actually not be a dick and save people out from other than himself. That his own self-interest is not important anymore. Granted, there are some times when he leaves the group. I think in the next episode, he abandons the group for his own self-interest. But for the time being, he's aligned with his former enemies. That's pretty good. That shows a real change in his character. Whereas I'm sure that if he were in the same situation on Earth, he would destroy them like he did with Nappa. And that because Nappa was his bro, his homie, one of the last hands alive. He destroyed them like this because they were weak. And I know that Krillin will easily destroy Vegeta, but he saved Krillin, and by a second shot, Gohan, because it goes away to Gohan after Krillin too. So I know that most of the shots taken by Guido were like weakening and humiliating to Gohan and Krillin, but it wasn't that bad. Not in comparison to what the others were given. Come to think of it, I don't think that Gohan and Krillin actually fight Jace or Bertha. I know that Raccoon decimates them, and it's all more fabulous for it. But I don't think that they actually fight them. I think that all on Goku, and then Vegeta finishes them off. So yeah, I enjoyed the episode quite a bit for the action, for seeing the little get finally crashed, seeing his censored head get cut off and destroyed by Vegeta. I'm glad that didn't go into the whole crushing of the head thing like you would expect from maybe a pumpkin head enemy. And yeah, I enjoyed this episode quite a bit. I enjoyed the change in Vegeta because when Krillin spared Vegeta's life in the first time on Earth, he didn't do it on his own right. He did it because Goku wanted him to do it. You know, if it were up to Krillin alone, he would have stabbed him with Yajirobe's sword. So by Vegeta actually saving Krillin's life, actually shows an impetus for him to do good for the allies. Temporary good for his allies. It was pretty good. But yeah, I thank you for watching my video on episode 24 of season 2 of Dragon Ball Z. Guido's mind bends. It was a good episode. I enjoyed it. I hope you did too. As such, give this my happy face seal of approval. Because I actually showed that E24, even the weakest members, they is still formidable foe to Earthlings. Not the Vegeta, which beheaded the guy pretty cleanly, I say. And he got rid of him very efficiently. As opposed to the other guy that think that's what that time with powerful kicks and blows. What's also known is that Goku used special powers, but where the other guy used more of a brute force method. Probably because he's so weak and pathetic. He used this spider-like ability to trap people. And mind-bending abilities. He uses them so much that even someone comments on that, he only dishes out the mind-bending technique whenever he's desperate, whenever he's out of breath or something. Which is a significant weakness, a very stupid weakness, and I like the way his veins pop out of his skull whenever he tries to do the mind-bending technique. Until Vegeta kills him. Anyway, if you like what you see here and you want to see more on my channel, you only like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. You can also contact me for future videos on my channel by calling me or texting me at 631-707-3707. Or if you want, you can always reach me. You can only find me on Twitter or X if you prefer, at PNelsonPro. And my email is jjsviewingchannel@gmail.com. So, I assume anyone who likes this show or anime in general, this is a great show. And, Yeah, I love it. Name of the Akira, the Goku, and the whole Kamehameha. Amen. Oh yeah, and I won't forget about the fact that Gohan is in trouble. He called out to Piccolo mentally, and Piccolo wishes the death that could come and help him out. In fact, he wishes so hard that he ends up tracking Kai's planet when the others they got the tree on that. Like Yamcha, Tien, and Chat Even King Kai knows this, and he said to Nala that that's what I call breaking wind. So it's funny that he's the most evil character in the world actually cares for Gohan, the son of his worst enemy. Even after he died, even after he was destroyed, protecting the very same kid. That's very touching that in his dreams of paternal bonding, it's actually that particular bonding actually goes beyond death, and that's very sweet. Anyway, peace out, my brothers and sisters. I'll see you in the next video of your girls and guys in Thailand. See ya, sayonara, and ciao ciao.